Security usually means extra steps and complications. But with Apple Pay, secure payments are simple. Your transactions are authenticated with Face ID, Touch ID, or passcode, so security is built in when you check out. Plus, your name isn't shared with merchants, and they don't see your actual card number. Whether you're shopping in-store, online, or in-app, protecting your money should be simple. Pay the Apple way. Terms apply.
Prime one-day delivery's fast. How fast we talking? We're talking yoga mats and fitness trackers delivered so fast you can kick off your routine tomorrow fast. We're talking weights at your door without really waiting fast. Water bottles and hydration backpacks fast and fast. Resistance bands faster than you can say feel the burn fast. More jump ropes just a hop, skip, and a jump away, aka fast. Whew, that was actually a good workout fast. Fast one-day delivery for all things fitness. It's on Prime.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
You can support this podcast at patreon.com/partnersincrimemedia.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie, and this is Crime Writers On. Crime Writers On is the original true crime review podcast that digs into true crime, pop culture, other podcasts, and on this episode, he was a notorious rapist and murderer who died in a South African prison by setting himself on fire. But the story changed when a social media influencer entered the frame. We're talking about the series Beauty and the Bester on Netflix. Joining me to get that done and more is true crime author, TV journalist, and host of These Are Their Stories podcast, my husband and the love of my life, Kevin Flynn. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Rebecca.
Also with us, private investigator, certified pet detective, resident cat lady, and author of the Piper Green series of cozy mysteries, it's Laura Bricker. Hi, Laura.
Hey, Rebecca.
And finally, all the way from Valencia, Spain, author of the City Trilogy, host of Rip Current, More Like Ancient Aliens, and the podcast soon to be a major motion picture, Strange Arrivals. It's Toby Ball. Que pasa, Toby?
Hola, Rebecca.
So, Kevin?
Yes.
This is Thursday's podcast. What's coming up on the future episodes of Crime Writers On?
Well, next week we're going to talk about the podcast from KPBS. It's called One of Their Own. And then a week from today, on Thursday, we'll be talking about the mystery series, thriller series from Peacock. It's called Ponies.
All right, looking forward to that. So, Kevin, are you going to switch out topics on us like you did last week? It's like a surprise switcheroo?
Oh, you mean like at this time last week we should have been listening to 56 Days?
Yes.
And
it sucked so bad that we yanked it.
Yeah, it sucked kind of bad. I mean, it was like, hey, we're not above listening or watching shit that's bad. Because some of our favorite episodes are the ones where we super dunk on shit.
Yes.
And we would have super dunked on that, but I feel
like... It was too much of a time commitment.
We had an awful lot to do and not a lot of time. And it was just like, Toby's like trying to get a new apartment in Spain and that he probably didn't, want to like watch 10 hours of television. He'd be, happy with an hour and a half, 2 hours. And that's why we switched it up.
Toby, I have a question for you.
Yes.
On behalf of a listener on the Crime Writers On subreddit, who somehow missed that you moved to Spain and wants to know why you're there, would you like to definitively answer that question now for that listener?
I answered it on Reddit.
You did? What did you say?
I don't know, just some bullshit. Yeah, no, this is something we've been thinking about since we were in our 20s, that it would be cool to live in Europe for a year or two or whatever. But then we got married, had kids, and it just never seemed like a good time. And now with the kids being older, but not having grandkids, it seemed like it might be a good time to do it and just kind of check out somewhere different. And we ended up in Valencia, Spain. But that was sort of the broader reason.
Yeah.
We'd had it in our minds to do for a long time. And
I was going to say, you didn't plan it for a long time.
We didn't plan it for a long time.
I see your answer now on Reddit. Good job.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine who checks out our Reddit page every once in a while to see what's going on. Was like, somebody's asking a question about you. You better go. And so I did. Yep.
Look at Toby's handle.
What's my handle?
Tennis.
Yeah, brilliant tennis. 2747. And since you outed yourself on Reddit, I'm comfortable doxing you there.
I have like an actual Reddit account, but I just don't remember the login or anything, so I just go in
course you don't.
anonymously.
I am one of the only people on Reddit who Reddit's under my real name, Rebecca Lavoie. Rebecca Lavoie. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm going to weigh in, be myself. I don't know. Anyway. All right, Kevin. Should we talk about the documentary that we're going to be talking about in this podcast?
Unless you want to talk about 56 Days.
Let's do it. Let's talk about 56 Days.
All right.
Super weird. Not good. Body
Opens
in the
with
bathtub.
a body in the bathtub and
Yeah.
acid. And then, a lot of sex.
Yes. Oh, and then a whole beauty
Which
routine.
isn't bad.
A lot of beauty routine
A
stuff.
lot of beauty routine
Sounds
stuff.
awesome.
Yes, yes.
Remember we stopped and rewound because you thought you saw some peen?
No. You rewound. Because I said there's almost peen, and you said, no, there was peen. And then you rewound.
Because it was your peen desire.
There was no peen. It was only a tiny...
You sound disappointed.
Was it just the
I
tip?
like it when they show peen.
You do.
Not because I like looking at peen, because I think that women have to show shit all the time. So why not have you guys do it once
You
in
should
a while?
see Eden. Jude Law was walking around the buff.
He watched that shit on an airplane, Toby. I
Oh,
saw it.
No, they obviously cut that part out.
They cut the penis part
I
out?
did not see any penis part. Yeah.
All right.
No, it's definitely in there in the uncut version.
Okay.
So to
The
speak.
uncut version. Is it the uncut version now?
Apparently so.
I don't know. Wasn't that locked in?
Speaking of foreskins, there's this horrible set of 4 women who make this anti-Karen Reed YouTube podcast. And it's called the Forensic Room, F-U-O-R, Ensic Room. And they have all these nicknames. We call them the Coven on our show, and then people call them like the Foreheads, but some people call them the Foreskins. Mm-hmm. And one of the people on this show sent out this tweet yesterday, really upset that they were being sexually degraded by being called the Foreskins. And I'm like, who told you that foreskins had anything to do with sex or sexiness or anything? Because they don't.
Yeah.
It's literally a piece of skin. Anyway, so Kevin, should we cover should we cover the documentary we're going to be covering now?
Yeah, now that you've
Speaking
laid
of
all that out.
foreskins,
Sure, yeah.
let's talk about the rapist guy.
Leading off.
Oh, God, help me. I don't know if I'm going to do this whole sentence in here. Or if they're going to one day kill me. Only God knows the true intentions of every human.
Thabo Bester, South Africa's so-called Facebook rapist, was serving a murder conviction when he died by suicide in his prison cell, setting his bed on fire. But authorities later revealed the victim had been killed before the fire began.
So this was definitely not simply a suicide. This was someone who died some time before and placed inside the cell and then severely burnt.
The story took another turn when celebrity doctor Nandipa Magudumana attempted to claim Bester's body.
And in that picture, we see Nandipa shopping with a man who very closely resembled Thabo Bester.
Investigators looked deeper into the connection between the inmate and the social media influencer. Then the media questioned whether Bester had faked his death and escaped with Nandipa's help. The 3-part Netflix series Beauty and the Bester recounts the extraordinary investigation into South Africa's most notorious criminal, his relationship with a celebrity, and what happened next. Featuring extensive interviews with Nandipa's family and investigative journalists, the series shows how a bizarre prison death turned into a national sensation. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about plot points from Beauty and the Bester. So if you want to remain spoiler-free, go to the estimated time code in our show notes for our thumbs up or thumbs down reviews. So, Laura, one of the things about this documentary that I found interesting is its setting. We don't get a lot of, I can't remember if we've done a crime story set in South Africa before.
I don't think so.
Unless
no.
we've done something about,
Oscar Pistorius.
what's his face? Who killed his, Oscar Pistorius, who killed his girlfriend. I don't think we did.
We've done anything.
Right?
Yeah.
So, Laura, what did you think about this setting? We see the media landscape. We kind of see the journalism landscape. We see the sensationalism of this case. Does that add to the interest of this story at all?
I think that's like the only interest of this story for me, honestly. Like the setting of South Africa and hearing from the journalists that were covering this story as it was unfolding and their change in perception as different things were happening. And the one who was like, we weren't getting answers about what was happening. And then they were like, yeah, it was hard for anyone to really generate sympathy for somebody who was convicted of, rape when they burned up and died. So, we get that. And then also sort of getting a window into the family structure and the friend groups of these different people. And then getting to see some of the landscape of different places where things happen in the case. That was interesting because I was like, I don't think we've ever done any kind of documentary in this geographical area. It was interesting to hear how the court system worked there. So for me, that was honestly the most interesting part about this, other than like, how do you become a social media influencer by being a cosmetic surgeon in South Africa?
And how do you only go on social media with heavy filters on your face 100% of the time?
Because that's your brand.
All right. So big spoiler coming up for those who are going to watch this and don't want to be spoiled. You might want to fast forward to our review right now because a big part of the conversation is going to be about the thing I'm about to talk about. So the first episode attempts to pull a fast one on the audience, Toby, with setting it up so that we believe Bester is dead and it's going to be a documentary about him, his crimes, and his death. Turns out, wasn't really him. It was a body that was placed there and then burned, and he had escaped. Were you or were you not pulled in by this structure, and then were you surprised by the cliffhanger at the end of episode 1?
I was mostly pulled in by it. Like, I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of interesting because he's dead. So it's going to be one of those backwards in time, forwards in time. I think I kind of had my suspicions like literally like 3 minutes before the reveal or something. I was like, yeah, like this is starting to feel like there's about to be a plot twist. But the plot twist just completely changes the whole course of the show, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was probably the most interesting decision they made in this entire documentary. So I don't want to minimize it in any way. But yeah. I mean, I thought, again, it is, you think you're going to be watching one documentary and it turns out you're going to watch another one. And it takes you about a third of the way through the whole thing before you figure that out.
Right.
It didn't seem unfair the way they did it, quite honestly. I'm like finicky about that, I guess. The only thing that felt like they were holding back is like Nandipa's sort of best friend / social media guy or PR guy or whatever.
Brand manager. Yeah.
You know that he's sort of holding back on that fact. But for the most part, I thought that was fun.
Kevin, were you pulled in? And what did you think about that element of the story? The fact that it was another corpse that was brought in somehow.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's a very audacious prison break story, right? Because it's very little about his crimes as the quote unquote Facebook rapist. We do get that. We understand how he used Facebook to lure women. And so, sort of that's the setup.
Now, I see in the media, they keep on referring to him as a Facebook rapist.
The so-called Facebook serial rapist, Thabo Bester, lured young women with the promise of modeling contracts and befriended them on his Facebook page. Bester is believed to be linked to about 20 cases of rape and robbery.
That escalated to a full-blown murder.
You end up getting sort of pulled into the idea about, okay, well, what are these different twists here about who commits suicide that way? It's very, self-immolation is very rare. And, I'm kind of like, well, did he have like a Bic lighter in his prison cell? Like the whole how of this prison break, I think, is one of the more interesting plot paths. And then you get to, okay, well, who's the body? Like when we get to the end of episode 1, that cliffhanger is that, oh, that guy in that photograph, that's Bester. Mm-hmm. He's been out for a year. Nobody knew. And, it's a big deal. It'd be like if Epstein all of a sudden showed up on a different island, or I don't know. It's like someone you think is dead in prison, but they're actually out and about. And then it's sort of, okay, well, then I'm like totally
like that scene showed up on Long Island?
Yeah.
Or Staten Island?
Staten Island, yeah. Wearing glasses and a beard or whatever. But then I get like pulled back into the whole prison break. Like, well, okay, well, who is the guy? How did he get in? One guy comes in. Is that a guard? Did he pull off the Hannibal Lecter escape?
It's not really clear.
It's not really clear. We never really sort of get to the idea.
A lot of things aren't clear.
A lot of things aren't clear. We never find out who this prison guard accomplice is. It seems like it was a missed plot point. But I think that the story itself is very, very interesting. I don't know if I was completely pulled in by the telling of it.
Yeah. There was a lot of details missing about how things worked and stuff. Like one of the things, Laura, that surprised me was apparently Nandipa was looking for a body to pull this off, right?
Yeah, that was wild.
So she goes to the morgue, claims a body, and they throw it in the back of her car? She's able to literally take the body with her?
I did find that a little peculiar. I'm like, so you can just literally go pick up a body there, and because she's a doctor or whatever, or she's like, oh, that's my dad. He died. Yeah,
she's
that's
like
him.
An aesthetic doctor. I mean, but literally, because that's just she threw it in the river. So it's like, did they actually just hand her the body? The other thing that goes unexplained is that apparently this dude is running some sort of corporation.
Yeah. How was he doing that from prison?
Thoughts?
Oh, yeah, no, I thought that was kind of wild. I was like, the logistics of that, because he would show up in these kind of FaceTime videos with a suit on, and he was like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And he was managing around 20 to 30 different employees. All of their meetings with him was strictly online because he was this businessman who was based in New York.
How is nobody noticing this is happening? Or we could have had some insight into this, because is the prison system there so corrupt that they can simply buy off guards, which is clearly probably the case since some guard set this other body on fire and got it into the prison. So what is that incarceration structure where people can just broadcast live from their cells and also get suits so they
Make
look good when they're
in prison?
Yeah, I was like, we heard that in the last thing that we reviewed where the guy had like 2 cells at one point and like had a little apartment set up. But in this case, I was like, well, this is wild. I'm like, maybe things are different in South Africa. I don't know.
That's exactly the problem. It's like you don't know.
Exactly. That is the problem.
It's like, oh, there's a prison break. We don't really learn what happened, but it seems like it was pretty out of hand. Oh, yeah, you can just pick up a body, or he was running corporations. It's like, can you explain how any of this happened? Like,
how it works?
Yeah, it seems fucking nuts.
Let me know, yeah.
But part of like what would be awesome is if you could just like explain maybe how it happened or talk to somebody who looked into it or something instead of just saying, well, this happened. That's kind of weird. It's really, I found it frustrating.
I have so many questions about what gala dinner that he appears in. First of all, like, whose not even like whose idea is this, but like who rented that ballroom and like who paid for those dinners and who set up the invitation?
Who chose the chargers?
Right? And they're like, oh, and they had like the 2 like hosts who apparently had talked in unison or something like that for this big presentation. And I'm not 1,000% sure what he's raising money for, but then he just all of a sudden appears like in pajama bottoms that you can't see. He's like, he's zooming in to his own and like what happened with that money? Like what is like I have so many questions about that guy's business section. Oh, it's the business section.
The business section. Oh. Clever.
I would just like to invite everybody to the Holiday Inn. And we can all sit around and be greeted by somebody in a ball gown and I will just hard sell you on patreon.com/partners in crime media. You get all sorts of exclusive content, including the Crime Writers on After Show, Toby Ball's Deep Dive Book Club podcast, Married with Podcast, Rebecca and Mel's Something's Off, and Laura Bricker's Leave It to Bricker podcast. If you are a deep diver, you get all of that. Plus, you get to be an official sponsor of Toby Ball's Deep Dive Book Club podcast, and you get to watch him and his guests record each episode. The next book that Toby is going to be talking about is The House of Grief.
Ooh.
So hurry up and download those on your Kindles or your Audible or run out to your store and get your copy.
Or get them from your library if you're a good person. I'm not. I'm totally an Audible person, not a good person.
Well, I mean, good person for whom?
I don't know, a virtuous person.
No, I mean, like those authors like spend all this time.
I know.
Can I just ask the 3 of you, when somebody tells you they said, oh, I got your book and I donated it to the library.
Or I got it from the library.
Or I convinced the library to buy it. Are you like, you're just taking food right out of my mouth? I could have had 2 people buy it.
Right.
That's not helpful.
Although libraries don't return books, so people
That's
apparently
true.
like it when they buy libraries.
I'll be honest, I was just hoping people would read it. If you can get it to a library and people will check it out, as opposed to like not wanting to buy it and never reading it, I'm perfectly happy.
I think the worst one for me was I was at Hannaford's one day and they had that free book thing where you can and I saw one of my books in there. And I was like, there's my book in the free book thing at Hannaford's.
I found a signed one of my book in the library book sale thing.
Probably the most exciting thing we ever got was one of our books. The first book we wrote together was about a crime that took place in our town. And our little grocery store in town, Colonial Village, has like a little spinning book rack. And I went in there and there was like 2 copies of our book on the spinning book rack. And the next time I went, they were gone.
Ooh.
So I was like, ooh, locals are interested.
Yeah, that was $1.68
and then
that we
I got
made.
my
Love it.
car keyed.
The biggest moment for me was finding my book at a used bookstore in Toronto.
Nice. You really want to see it in the airport. That's where you want to see it.
Yeah. Somebody found it in the airport and sent me a photo on Facebook.
Really?
Incredible.
But that's like 1 copy at the airport.
Hey,
it's
man.
not like in every Hudson News, throughout the terminal.
Yeah.
Anyway, other ways you can support us besides buying our books is to just check them out at our Amazon storefront. You could buy our books. You can buy Toby's upcoming deep dive books, and you can see some of our favorite things. Like, Rebecca, tell us, what are this week's Crime Writers on Amazon recommendations?
Are you saying they can do the shopping they would have done on Amazon anyway, just using our link? That's what they can do?
I mean, I'm trying to not say it like
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
Buy what you were going to buy anyway, but use our link. So, Kevin, I bought this beautiful satin little fancy clutch bag. With what do you think I bought this for?
I don't know. Let me see. I'll turn it. Oh, let's see. It was $33.33. No.
Why do you think I bought this?
Why did you buy that, Rebecca?
What did I buy it for? What occasion?
Is it the funeral we're going to?
Oh my God, it's our son's fucking wedding. I'm going to go with my navy. I have 2 dresses right now. I'm trying to choose between the 2, but they're both navy.
That's fantastic, because if you needed one thing, it was a handbag.
That's right.
And Toby Ball, we have our listener-inspired Toby Ball's deep cut recommendations. What do you have for deep cut recommendations this week?
All right, I'm starting off with a hero. Yosuda Underdesk Bike Pedal Exerciser. Magnetic mini exercise bike, desk pedal bike for home office workout.
I'm using one of those right now, Toby.
Are you really?
No.
I didn't think so. Anyway, Good for you, man. Whoever's got this, or woman, I guess, I've always thought about that, but I'm just too freaking lazy.
That's right. There's people who walk. One of the members of our board at where I work, they're always walking on a treadmill when they're in Zoom meetings, like doing that slow walk that people do.
And then I've also got here AMZ Boom 2-pack fire extinguisher for home, kitchen, car, and grill with mounting bracket. Extinguishing spray compact ABCK eco-friendly Preve. I've never thought about having a fire extinguisher in my car.
Are we supposed to have one in our car? I don't know. I mean, I guess probably. But I think that I can get away from that fire.
Oh.
Right? If my car's on fire, I think if I can't get away, if I'm trapped in the car, I'm not trapped in the car with my fire extinguisher.
I feel like my car is probably a lost cause if it's caught on fire.
Yeah. I have one for my fireplace because everyone thinks I'm going to accidentally burn my house down.
I think that's good for you, Laura.
More likely, yeah.
And the best thing is this one apparently comes with a mounting bracket.
Yes.
So that's great.
Yeah, I have a teeny tiny one that's super tiny.
So you got to try to take it off of there while the flames are growing?
Yes, exactly. So you can see all of that and our other recommendations at amazon.com/shop/crimewriterson. We earn commissions on qualified purchases.
Kevin.
Yes.
Do we have any Patreon patron saints of the week this week?
Our Patreon patron saints are Jill White, John Clegg. Bless you.
Jill and John, thank you so much for supporting this podcast. We literally would stop making this podcast if we didn't have people like you supporting us on Patreon. We couldn't do it. So we really appreciate you. You sustain the show. And thank you so much. We love making extra content for you. And join our Patreon if you haven't joined yet. You will like it. Does thus end our business section?
Thus ends the business section.
All right, let's fade that music out. So, Kevin.
Yes.
Who's our next sponsor?
Yeah, this podcast is sponsored by Quince.
Oh, Quince.
Yeah, these days it's all about choosing quality over quantity, especially when it comes to a wardrobe. So if a piece isn't made well and versatile, well, is it truly worth having? And that's why so many people love Quince. Okay, now I know that the Quince people spend a lot of time working on this copy.
Yes.
And they came up with the thing about quality over quantity.
Yes.
But if you met Rebecca Lavoie, you would get both.
You would get both.
Quality and quantity, because she loves shopping at Quince so much.
I do love it so much.
Can you tell us a little bit about the last thing you purchased from Quince?
Well, Kevin, I have the Luxe Baby Cashmere Cable Knit Cardigan, which you have seen me wear. I have it in 2 colors, and you have seen me wear them, I don't know, like 50 times in the last month. I love wearing them. I don't even wear like a tank top underneath. It's so soft and so cute. Looks great on camera, looks great at work, looks great with jeans. I love these cardigans so much. They are a wardrobe staple, and I will wear them for years to come.
Yeah, you know the thing you're forgetting, though, is that Quince works directly with safe, ethical factories to cut out the middlemen, so you're not paying for a brand markup or those fancy retail stores. It's just quality clothing.
Yep. So right now, go to quince.com/crime for free shipping and 365-day returns. That's a full year to wear it and love it, and you will. Now available in Canada, too.
Bonjour, hi.
Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last. Go to quince.com/crime for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/crime.
Every business starts with an idea. How can you go from daydreamer to industry leader? Amazon Business accelerates your journey. With smart business buying, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools, Amazon Business takes the buying experience you know and love from Amazon, plus tools that help you save costs and make insights-based decisions. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at amazonbusiness.com.
Walmart Express Delivery can get what you need delivered in as fast as an hour. Whether it's baby formula when you're down to the last scoop, pet food before the bowl runs empty, batteries for a dead remote, or a last-minute gift, it is handled. Try Walmart Express Delivery today and get free delivery with promo code EXPRESS. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum. Subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
So, Toby, going back to the unclear.
Yes.
How did Nandipa and Bester meet, and how did their relationship evolve? Any ideas?
I would love to know. I could guess that it had something to do with him having a computer in prison, maybe, and they met that way, but you're left with absolutely no sense of how they met, why this woman who was, a popular influencer would be so enraptured with a Facebook rapist.
Well, didn't they go to school?
Did they?
At one point, they said they went to university together, and then, she reconnected with him when he was in prison. She saw that he was in prison, and she reached out to him. I feel like I do remember that part.
She said that, and then that was one of the things they debunked. Because he had never gone to school or anything like that.
Okay, but maybe he was walking around her campus and they knew each other.
Well, I'm glad
I think that was the cover story.
Yeah,
but they don't. You're right. They just don't explain a lot. Yeah.
What would she see in him?
At the end, they're like, what did she see in him? What is at her core? What's all this? It's like, that's all the questions that I would have enjoyed, hearing at least attempted to be answered throughout the whole thing. But thank you for bringing them up at the end and saying, we just don't know.
I mean, you've got her parents and brother right there.
Yes.
They could venture a guess.
Or just at least talk about, as much as I, find most things, when she was 12, she, organized a school play and stuff like that boring. But maybe there's something in her background that you could find that would account for this. Because it is, so much in this documentary, on its face, seems kind of wild. And it would be awesome to have somebody explain it to us a little bit, but they don't.
Yeah. So, Laura, another thing that we sort of learn, we hear these recorded phone calls where I guess he's still in prison and he's fucking awful to her. And granted, I am no way blaming a victim in an abusive situation at all. That being said, I did wonder why, because it wasn't explained, if this was the relationship dynamic when he was in prison, why was she so anxious to get him out?
Who knows? So she doesn't have a crink in her neck from being on the phone with him all the time. Yeah, so I feel like they really could have done more to talk about the dynamics of that type of relationship. And I know we've heard it in other documentaries, but just something to explain this cycle that she was in, because I feel like we heard from the media and people that were around they were kind of glorifying it, like they were like the Bonnie and Clyde of South Africa. But when you heard those phone calls and he's like, this and that, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do, and then she's just like, yes, okay, yes, okay.
Listen, this is my house, so you're going to listen to me. Do you hear me? Tom speaks and you listen. You are a wife in this house. You don't run shit.
It's clear looking in what's going on here, but I felt like a lot of this was just sort of put into that sort of formula of we have 3 episodes and we're going to retell this story. And there were opportunities along the way to at least try to add some context in terms of why she was unable to remove herself from this dynamic, even when he was behind bars. And really, what kind of power does he have on her from behind bars? And how is it that she is sucked into that? And what other relationships did she have? Because she's supposedly married and she has kids. But then we say she's his common law wife, but that wasn't really explained as to how that was possible, that she was able to say that she was his common law wife, even though she still has a husband and kids.
In a mansion.
Yeah. I'm like, is this like the Mormons? We can just have multiple wives? What's going on here? So I just found this very frustrating, very superficial throughout. Interesting that they had access to those tapes, but do something else with them.
Yeah. So, Kevin, I will admit one of my favorite corners of the internet is influencer doctor corner of the internet.
Okay.
I do like, the plastic surgeons who debunk shitty wellness like claims and all that stuff. Like that's stuff that I sometimes will watch. But apparently you don't even need to do that much in order to become a celebrity wellness influencer.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this just seems to be like her like walking at the same time as she can maintain eye contact with her phone and have an expressionless face.
Mm-hmm.
Like
An extreme filter.
An extreme filter. I mean, I guess if I did more TikTok, I'd see that's probably very common. But it leaves the viewer to believe that she is internet famous because she's beautiful. And that's all. As opposed to, okay, well, she was giving advice about how to put on your makeup or how to use skincare or, this is how we're going to remove these pimples in a certain way. It just, my God. Imagine if she was like South Africa's Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh, yeah. And they didn't include that. That should have been included if that was the case.
That would have been great.
And they should have shown some extractions.
Instead, it's just a lot of
I just discovered those things you can put on that are like see-through and they take it away
little
like
patches.
Instantly.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes, amazing, yes.
Wow, I think you should start a TikTok, Laura.
I'm going to. I'm going to be like, look at this middle-aged perimenopausal outbreak and how quickly it went away.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, I think as we established in the last podcast episode, maybe keeping you away from potential romantic entanglements with inmates is probably the way to go.
Yes.
Just to be on the safe side.
Just to be on the safe side.
Because I could definitely see you getting taken in by a pretendian Aryan Brotherhood gang member who also has a rather abusive way of talking to you on the phone, and you could stage a body being set on fire in order to facilitate a very brazen prison break. And then you could live for a year just like walking around.
Letting him hide in your mansion?
Yeah, wearing a hat and dark sunglasses, going shopping.
Yep, going to Target.
I can definitely see the parallels here.
100% see the parallels here. This is the one thing I just want to say about this. There's a lot of interviews with seemingly very competent journalists in this documentary. And Ken and I just watched a screener of another documentary that is entirely comprises interviews with very good journalists. And I learned so much about the subject of that documentary hearing from these like amazing reporters who'd been covering this subject. Yet somehow in this documentary, all we hear is the journalists sort of repeating the same points over and over again. And then we get like a montage at the end. So what did you think of how they sort of accelerated some storytelling there using that technique instead of just having somebody tell us?
The ending seemed to be from a slightly different documentary, to be quite honest. I don't know if they got to the end. They're like, oh, shit. I kind of felt this way about the whole documentary is that they kind of came up with South African equivalents to like sort of stock characters in true crime documentaries. So you had some journalists, you had like the cop, you had like a guy, sort of older, sort of hard-bitten guy who talks about his suspicions from the beginning. You got parents, you got the brother. It's like they knew what they had to put in, but they didn't necessarily have a whole lot to add at times. I mean, some people did. Is it maybe that they tried to fit this story into an already existing formula that wasn't really equipped to handle this story and sort of explain what had happened? Like they go on this run and like this apparently is like the big thing. And like South Africa was like totally enraptured in this like escape thing. And they kind of show on a map sort of where they go. And then they end up in Tanzania and at some tourist town. And then they get stopped at the Tanzania-Kenya border because there's a roadblock there that's always there to check for people smuggling stuff. But it's just like a map, right? It doesn't really mean anything to you. Like, it's just like, oh, they went here and then they went here and they went here and they almost caught him here, but they didn't. But then they went to this other place and then they did get him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I was so psyched when I found out what this was about. I thought this was going to be really interesting. And even just like a look at criminal justice in South Africa or just anything. And I even forgot to, like, we've got the influencer, right? We've got the coercive control guy. It's just all right there. But instead, they're slotted into these roles and kind of portrayed the way they are in American documentaries. And I don't think it really worked very well.
You know, it's funny you should say that because I was thinking that too. They made this big climax out of the fact that they held hands in court. That was a big climax, a big moment.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to see what was going to happen, and they held hands, and everybody was like, oh, and it was like 0% surprising. They were literally just together right before they were arrested. Like, why wouldn't they be excited to see each other? And the other thing that was very American documentary trope-ish, but I felt so bad, was they had the parents sitting together doing these interviews.
Yeah.
And the mother really didn't say anything. So she just made faces the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
And I was like, do they just think that you're supposed to have both of them? Like you can't have one without the other, like they're like a set, so you have to have both. And the entire time they just kept panning into her face and she would just be like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a little bit like Making a Murderer, right? Like Stephen Avery's mom was pretty quiet.
yeah, but that was telling.
Right.
See, that actually told part of the story that she was quiet because it was like, this family is, for lack of a better word, really weird. Like they live in the middle of a junkyard. The dynamics are weird. Maybe they all have, metal poisonings of some kind. And the parents, like everyone in the family seems to have some sort of developmental delay or like speech issue or something. And to me, that was illustrative of something. The fact that his mother was just sitting there while the dad did all the talking and she was just sort of like,
No, but again, I mean, I think it's like, oh, like we got to put them together. And if the mom doesn't say much, like that's part of it.
That's
right?
fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Instead of just making us be distracted by the sourpuss faces she was making the whole time.
Just like... Yeah.
But she's like, my husband's kind of stupid because he got into all this trouble by apparently transporting the dead body or something.
In his trunk?
In his trunk?
We don't
or the
really
back
know.
In the armoire in the back of the pickup truck?
Like, it's just like it seems insane, but maybe you can like contextualize it a little bit. Like,
what is the body situation in South Africa? I was very impressed by her huge house. Like, what is the money situation? We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, she's wealthy. She's living in a wealthy part of Johannesburg. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you see also, I mean, the other part of that was kind of interesting, I guess, is that this was supposed to come out a while ago on Netflix, but he actually filed like an injunction to stop this because they were like, this is unfair because nobody can really prove that I faked my own death. And if this comes out now, it's going to influence my case.
Wait, what?
Nobody can prove I
faked my own death. There's just a dead body in my...
Well, no, but yeah, so they actually had like a delay on this being released on Netflix because of that.
Weird.
You could make a very good documentary about this. Like, I think that there's enough stuff here that you could make a good documentary, but you got to try a little harder. You got to like... try and get some answers rather than read a bunch of newspapers and find some people to interview to tell you what you just read. I mean, and
ask more questions.
It's just, it's like reading a Wikipedia article. It's just like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And there's like, even like the thing with the dad, like the dad gets arrested. And then when he's in court, I'm like, is he a defendant or is he there supporting her? Like, I couldn't quite figure out like what. And then there's all these people are sitting on a long bench and it's like, are they all defendants? Like what's going on? And then he like kind of cruises his way across with this like totally cocky look on his face and like squats down in between. The whole thing was, I don't know.
Confounding.
Yeah. My note that I wrote was like, there was something about this that didn't quite hold my interest. And it was, I think you guys identified it, is that we had a lot of questions came up. Not that it raised questions, but it created questions because of its holes. You know, the father's one, right? He was there, Toby, because he got arrested for some part in the transporting the body. But that sort of dropped.
And we know it's fine because he's sitting on his couch during this interview.
Then that ends up being like we're like, well, this is kind of incoherent. Why has he been talking to us the whole time from his living room? Did he already go to jail? Is he not going to jail? What's the deal? And there's a whole bunch of things like that. Yeah.
Why would he be being arraigned at the same time as they are, since they went on the run and he was arrested long before that? Like, why would they be in the same? I don't know.
I mean, at its heart, like there's a fantastic crime story here, but it didn't get into the kinds of questions that this naturally raises. It just sort of puts in, okay, this was the next step, and this was the next step, and you're right. Meantime, you're like, how the fuck did he rent that ballroom? You know, and like, again, whose idea was it to burn the thing down? And there was just a lot that was sort of left.
KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The greatest insult the Colonel ever suffered was being served a wrap that was just a snack by a friend. So he took 2 crispy tenders, lettuce, tomatoes, and pepper mayo, and wrapped them in a soft tortilla. It wasn't a snack, it was a meal. He called it a twister, and never called that friend again. The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. The Twister, now back at KFC, classic or with bacon. Also try it spicy. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation may vary.
Why have we asked our contractor we found on Angie.com to be our kids' legal guardian? Because he took such good care when redoing our basement that we knew we could trust him to care for our kids.
We only met a month ago. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find pros for all your home projects at Angie.com.
Tonight's meal, tilapia surprise with boiled cabbage. Begin cooking steps 1 through 50 now.
Are you kidding me? Making dinner shouldn't feel like doing a 1,000-piece puzzle. With Blue Apron's new one-pan assemble and bake meals, the hard part's already done. Pre-chopped ingredients, zero stress. Just assemble, bake, and enjoy. No complicated steps, no mountain of dishes. Try Assemble and Bake today. Get 20% off your first 2 orders with code APRON20. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
You know that thing where you get an amazing pair of shoes at a really great price and want to tell everyone about it? Yeah, so do we. Here at Designer Shoe Warehouse, we'll give you something to brag about, like the latest styles from brands you love, or the trends everyone's obsessing over, or shoes that make you feel like, well, you. So go ahead, show off a little. Find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. Head to your DSW store or DSW.com today. DSW, let us surprise you.
All right, let's do what we do. Let's let our listeners know, should they check out Beauty and the Bester on Netflix? Laura Bricker, thumbs up or thumbs down for this series?
Yeah, don't check this out. You can find out more reading about it online. This is a thumbs down for me. The only thing that was interesting about this to me was the fact that it was set in South Africa, because we don't consume a lot of media about crimes in the criminal justice system in South Africa. I wish we had had more information about that justice system. I think my biggest gripe with this is I really feel like this was a lazy documentary. It was 3 parts. There was one part, a big twist, that I was like, whoa, how did that happen? And I think there was an opportunity to really expand on some of the more unique parts of this case, and that just never happened. And it just felt very superficial to me. I just didn't find it very interesting. And I think that's unfortunate, because I think there were some parts of this case and the people in this case that were very interesting, that were unique. And it's set in an area that we really haven't learned a lot about in all of the crime media and true crime media that we consume. I was like, okay, we're going to find out something new. We're going to learn something new. And we didn't really. And so I found myself just frustrated by the show, because I felt like, I was like, okay, well, that was it. But it sounds like it was a big deal to people there, because everyone was really interested in this. So unfortunately, this is a thumbs down for me.
Toby Ball, thumbs up or thumbs down for Beauty and the Bester?
Yeah, I was really psyched for this. And we've read a couple of South African true crime things for the deep dive, which have been excellent. And yeah, this is just, I mean, it kind of feels like an outline that you would give to somebody to like make an actual series about it. Like, it gets the events down, but there's just no explanation for what is going on, or even it doesn't seem like there's much curiosity just beyond this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. It's like watching a Wikipedia article or something. I mean, there's some, yeah, I'm not even going to go there. It's just, I'm trying to think of something nice to say, but
this is a review podcast, Toby. You can say whatever you want.
I know, but it's just kind of boring and superficial, and I just found myself being like, wait, hold on a second. Can you explain that a little bit more? Or there's like an obvious question here that you should probably answer. Can you do that? And it never happened. So anyway, thumbs down.
Kevin Flynn.
Yeah, I'm a thumbs down too. For a crime that has so many twists and turns, this documentary is so incurious about it. It's funny how it goes like very chronologically, even though it's non-linear. It just basically tells you sort of the points of what we'll just call a crime spree and how it got there. But along the way, it raises questions about how this happened and how that happened, and doesn't really answer it. So it kind of distracts the viewer from, the story and wondering what's happening, because they are raising sometimes more questions than they're answering. It's probably very interesting to a North American audience that has never heard anything about this crime before, because it's a completely audacious crime. But beyond hearing about the details of the case, I don't think I learned anything deeper about it than what I would have gotten from a really great newspaper article or a short magazine piece. It's got a lot of twists and turns. This could have been a much better story, but it just wasn't told well. And like the documentarians didn't pose the questions that viewers have when they're watching it. So for me, I'm a thumbs down.
I'm a thumbs down too. And all I'm going to say about this is it suffers from the Irish curse. All potatoes, no meat.
Hey now. That's
going to do it for us. But before we go, Laura Bricker, do we have a cat of the week this week?
Our cat of the week comes to us from a longtime listener, Lindsay Masters, who actually at one point came to Exeter on her travels and went to the Water Street bookstore. Lindsay has her dog, her Sheltie, Winnie. Winnie has a lot of neighborhood pals. They post pictures of this posse of pets with their outfits on at different holidays and celebrations. So Lindsay sent this in. Lindsay's nominating Emmy. Emmy is an 11-year-old black lab.
Oh, an Emmy nomination. I love it.
Yes, an Emmy nomination. Sweetest, happiest dog in the neighborhood. Loves getting treats. Going on long walks with friends. Winnie, which is Lindsay's Sheltie. Margot, the golden retriever. They were out pictured together in front of the public library. Unfortunately, sorry, Rebecca, Emmy recently passed away. So now Winnie and Margot are going to have to find a new third for their walks around the neighborhood. But they will always remember their Emmy nomination.
Oh. All right, Laura Bricker, if folks want to reach out to you on social media and pitch any kind of animal to be cat or dog of the week, cat of the week, but you can pick a dog or any kind of animal, how can they find you online?
You can find me at Laura Bricker on Instagram and Blue Sky.
Nice. Toby Ball, what about you? How can you be found?
At TobyBall603 on Instagram, at TobyBallNH on Blue Sky.
What about you, Kevin?
I'm at Kevin P. Flynn.
You can follow me everywhere at Reb Lavoie. You can follow the show everywhere at Crime Writers On. But mostly you should join our official Crime Writers On Facebook group. Everyone there is amazing. Get episodes early and ad-free and everything else we make at patreon.com/partnersincrimemedia. Our theme song was composed and performed by Tyler Gibbons, and our editor is the wonderful Livy Burdett. The EP of this show is Kevin. This show was recorded in the Caitlin Rogers Project Studio, also known as Studio C, the closet in our New Hampshire basement, where we also provide dermatology advice on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
We do. On behalf of all the crime writers, thanks so much for listening. We will catch you later.
Eco-friendly perv. No, Preve. I think it's probably prevention.
Preve,
yeah, sorry.
Yes. Eco-friendly perv.
Eco-friendly perv. My favorite kind.
He's wearing hemp pants that he then unbuttons at the beach.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Partners in Crime Media.
Why have I asked my electrician I found on Angie.com to bury my pet hamster? I was so moved by how carefully he buried my electrical wires, I knew I could trust him to bury my sweet nibbles after his untimely end.
This is very strange. Angie, the one you trust to find the ones you trust. Find pros for all your home projects at Angie.com.